I wanted to share a popular Turkish dish you'll find throughout Turkey, and that is manta. Manta are small, meat-filled dumplings, and they're often served with yogurt and butter sauces. Here I'll share my mother-in-law's recipe. I hope you enjoy. Like most good cooks, my mother-in-law doesn't use measuring cups and likes to eyeball things, so I'll do my best to give you as good of estimates as possible here. To start with, add about 6 cups of flour into a large mixing bowl. To that you'll add 1 egg and roughly 1 tablespoon of salt. Then you'll want to slowly add in about a cup of water. If you find it easier, you can add water as you go to make sure that you get the right consistency. Continue incorporating all the ingredients together and knead the dough into one large mass. You'll know you've added the right amount of water and kneaded long enough once the dough stops sticking to your hands and sides of the bowl. And then from here, you can cover the bowl and set the dough aside while making the filling. The filling for manta is usually lamb or beef, but because of some picky eaters in the house, my mother-in-law is going to use beef. The onions that we're adding to this are really small, much smaller than I usually see in the US at least, so I'd say either 2 small onions or 1 medium-sized onion will do. And make sure that the onion is finely chopped. Here we added about a pound of ground beef as well as a teaspoon each of salt and pepper. In addition, you can add a little bit of freshly chopped parsley if you like, and then make sure to mix everything together by hand and incorporate well. My mother-in-law went back to the dough to separate it into 6 equal parts and then rolled them into balls. She slightly dusted them with flour so that they wouldn't stick and then put them back in the bowl and covered them again. She said that letting them sit a bit makes it a little easier when trying to roll them out later. The process for making manta is quite the ordeal. First, we rolled out this little round table, and my mother-in-law put cushions all around for everyone to sit on. I'm not exactly sure why she prefers to use this really short table for assembling the dumplings, and when I asked, she just said it was tradition, so I'll leave it at that. But when I make them, I'll be sure to stand because my back was aching really bad by the end of this. She generously floured the table and began to roll out one of the balls of dough. She had 3 varying sizes of rolling pins as the dough progressively got larger and larger, but one's enough if that's all you have. Just make sure that the dough is thin and even, and then begin cutting the dough in vertical and horizontal lines. If you don't have one of these little pastry edge cutters, a pizza cutter would work great. The squares should be quite small, probably not more than 1.5 by 1.5 inches, I would guess. The ingredients in manta are simple, but the small size is what takes a lot of time. My mother-in-law said she often makes these with her friends, and it's a good excuse to get together to talk and enjoy some tea. After adding a small amount of the filling to each of the squares, you'll want to squeeze together the opposite ends to form the dumpling. My mother-in-law was quite an expert at this, but it took a lot of practice before my manta started looking somewhat presentable. Don't worry if they don't look perfect. The most important thing is for the edges to be pinched together to prevent the filling from falling out later on. We continued the process with the rest of the balls of dough. Luckily we had some help, and my brother-in-law and father-in-law pitched in, so it went a little bit quicker. After what seemed like the construction of hundreds of dumplings and a few cups of tea, we finally finished the assembly. The dumplings were given one final light dusting of flour before being added to some baking dishes and put in the oven to bake for about 15 minutes at 350 degrees. We prepared the manta in the morning, but we wanted to enjoy them later that day, so for dinner we boiled some water with salt in a large saucepan. Then, once the water was boiling, we added in some of the manta. Separately, we prepared the butter and oil sauce that would go on top. And there are various ways to make this, just like the manta, but a simple recipe is adding 50-50 butter and oil to a saucepan and then heating until the butter is melted. We probably added about a half a cup each. Then we added in a generous wooden spoonful of tomato paste and about a teaspoon of pul biber, which is pretty much the same as chili flakes, and then we mixed it all together. While the manta was still cooking, we prepared a simple yogurt sauce. All you need for this is about a cup of yogurt and a few cloves of freshly chopped garlic and a pinch of salt to stir together. Fresh mint is also a nice addition if you have it available, but it's not necessary. Once the dumplings had all risen to the top of the water, they were ready. And the rest of the manta that was baked but never boiled was added to some bags for the freezer. It makes a really quick and easy dinner when you're short on time. The drained manta is then topped with the yogurt sauce and a nice drizzle of the butter and oil mixture. I made sure to eat this meal extra slow to appreciate the hard work that went into it. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I can't wait to bring you more in the future. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks!